Hi. What's up, people? You guys might be confused. Why in the unicorn farts is that chick sitting in Zach's video? Well, hi. Welcome to ZackReacts. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? My name's Rosalie, and I am here not by chance. No, I have not hacked Zach's computer or his channel. This is still ZackReacts. I am here because I have a challenge for Zach. We're doing this cool swap where each of us makes a suggestion for an artist that the other has not really reacted to yet, or a song they haven't listened to yet on the channel. And that's what we're going to do today. I was brainstorming and looking through Zach's portfolio, a vast repertoire of all the stuff he's reacted to. And my gosh, he has a lot of amazing videos out there, so go check them out. Make your way through the playlists. But the thing that I noticed that he hadn't reviewed yet is Tool. He's done Sober, but he's not listened to Wings of Marie Part 1 and 2. Now, if you are familiar with my channel, come hang out with me, subscribe, check it out. That one affected me greatly. I'm not going to tell you how, I'm not going to tell you what. Maybe you've seen my reaction to it already. If not, go check it out. But I want Zach to check it out today. Tool, Wings of Marie, Part 1 and 2. Now, buckle up, Zach. It's going to take a little bit. It's a long piece. It's art in my book. But I'm really curious to see how it makes you feel, what you think about it. Open your heart and mind to it. Brace yourself for all that is Tool and the story behind it. I'm not going to tell you anything about the song or words birthed from. I know people in the comments will help you out, and maybe you'll start understanding what it's about as you're listening. I want you to go into this blind with fresh eyes, unbiased. So have fun. And you guys, make sure to subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Come check out my channel as well if you like. Go support Zach. Subscribe to him. Like, comment, share. Follow him on social media. Yeah, and enjoy. Are you ready, Zach? Take it away.
What's up, YouTube? Back at it again. We are, and thank you, Rosalie, for this. Checking out part 2 of we did the Wings for Marie in the last night, actually, like right before I went to bed. Luckily, too, because I was like falling asleep. But we're looking at part 2. This one's called 10,000 Days. I did pull up lyrics. First and foremost, go support Tool. By the way, if you haven't watched my first the part 1 of this, which I posted last night, I would do that. The context here is that Rosalie and I are having some fun, a little back and forth with just suggestions on some stuff to check out as I might peruse her catalog, and I'm like, huh, you haven't seen any of this, and then vice versa, you know, obviously. So so this is the first thing she had sent over, as you noticed in the intro. Same intro as the first one, but it applies to both iterations of the song, so or versions, I guess, part 1 and 2. Yeah, I guess I got lyrics pulled up. I haven't really read them yet. We'll read as we go. And I think I kind of understood the first one. It was, you know, a dedication to his mom, and then somebody had written in the comments, you know, so I kind of know a little bit about what happened to her, but not a lot of it. So she was the immobilized line was both it was literal, as she was immobilized, literally. I sometimes when you're writing you know, you're writing songs, it's everything's kind of, you know, a little abstract or figurative, or, you know, a little bit poetic in a sense, but he was being very literal in that sense, apparently. So so yeah, we got 10,000 days here. Let's first and foremost, like I said, go support Tool, go like, go subscribe. Always want to support the artist. Go support Rosalie, and if she's linked down below. But I'm sure you're familiar with who she is. She's stellar. Go support her page. Go like, go subscribe. Love to have you here as well. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like. Make sure you're subscribed. But if you haven't seen the first one of these that I did last night, I would go watch that first. And then maybe come join. Let's dive in. dude, the thunderous sounds. It's, it's got that kind of like, it's like reminiscent of kind of going up into the clouds, into the sky. We listen to the tales and romanticize how we follow the path of our heroes. So we're talking about, um, basically, we're talking about going to church, and in this sense, so this is, we're very kind of, we're getting biblical too. Boast about the day when the rivers overrun. The great tribulation was it Daniel something? I don't remember. I'm not religious, guys. I'm not. But I have read every book of every religion. So I that's another story. Um, so I kind of understand things. How we rise to the height of our halo. Listen to the tales as we rationalize, um, on our way to the arms of the Savior. So it's there's almost some doubt in that, in saying like, just, almost like kind of like a, we sit here kind of coming up with our own excuses, um for our way to heaven, as we, as we ascend, or cross that line, our way into the arms of the Savior. Again, we're referencing Jesus again, feigning the trials and tribulations. Again, we're using the word feigning there, is also similar. It's like it's almost got a, like a Judas mentality, where you are a follower of Jesus, but you may not always put into practice, the preachings of, if that makes sense. And again, I'm just, that's just kind of, it seems like we're going biblical with this, in referencing with, so we're still, it's an ode to mom, obviously, because he says not like you, to end that first verse there. So, um obviously he's, he's his mom, and I get it, man. His mom's his number one, so he holds her in very high regards, and knowing that she suffered something, I think I read that it was like an aneurysm, and then she was, paralyzed thereafter, um is, for a long, long time. I think that's the 10,000 day reference. That's roughly what, 26, 20, 27 years, something like that. um anyway, sorry, let's go. This is, and I hate to pause a lot, but I know I'm not going to get my thoughts collectively after, we got 11 some odd minute song. At the end, I'll forget stuff. Ignorant siblings of the conversation. It's exactly kind of what I said, but it's almost, the flip side of that. Like when somebody passes, and like, it's like the equivalent of somebody online sending you thoughts and prayers, or hugs, heart emoji. It's the real life version of that. So it's almost your kind of your empty sympathy, right? And he's saying spare me, and he's again saying that, like, and this is, again, I think this is just based on her faith. And I don't know, this the way that this one's reading is a little bit, it might not be as hard hitting as the first one for me, and I don't know, we'll get there. But Because I admittedly I'm not super religious, so I can't personally relate to some of those elements. But as far as the regard in which he held his mother, I can 100% relate to that. So um equally as touching for sure so far. I mean, we're not even halfway through, but um none of them can hold a candle to you, blinded by the choice these hypocrites won't see. But enough, and I referenced this before, but enough about the collective Judas. Who could um, deny you were the one who illuminated your piece of the divine. Um, just maintain, that strength of faith. And I use, it's funny. I think I said and I was just kind of guessing the way he was talking about it, but in the last one that maybe she was very very religious. Obviously, that's the case here. Um, and this little light of mine, a gift to you, passed on to me. I'm gonna let it shine. Y'all know the children's song, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You'd sing that in church, right? Um, your way home. Uh, I love that verse. Anyways, it's weird. It's like there's bitterness in what he's saying, and rightfully so. In how he speaks about like her congregation and like certain things, and like it's there's he's got some thoughts that are dwelling and some unanswered feelings. His way of exploring those and voicing that is obviously through writing and through music. Albeit that he's not, probably not hyper religious, certainly not to the effect that she was, especially the way that he's kind of referring to some of these things in context. Um, but and I'm just guessing, by the way. I don't know really a whole lot about Dude. I'm just talking about things that I've heard a few of their songs in the past. I know a little bit about a little bit, but not a lot of bit about anything. So we're just going off the lyrics here. But um, the little reference to the children's song kind of made me smile a little bit. Anyways, let's go. We start with thunder and now we have like full-blown rain going, if you just notice kind of the pattern. So um obviously that's symbolic for the structure, the overarching kind of feeling and emotion of what we're doing here. Oh, you think about that. It's like just like that's kind of touching actually. The last portion of that. Well, for me it is. Um Coming to terms with like your mother. It's your number one, right? Your favorite person that is has passed, and you yourself may not be religious. And he literally says the only thing I pray about is that heaven knows when they lift you out. Um that's a strong line. And then 10,000 days in the fire is long enough. It's almost like the internal recognition of um it'd be selfish for me to want to keep you here, but I did. And that this is my interpretation, so I'm probably, I could be wrong, I could not be, um but and more so like the the extent to what some of the things that she was going through. I mean, you have when you have um like a mental issue like that, and you are literally paralyzed. That's a painful experience. I mean, mentally painful, emotionally painful, also physically painful, nerve endings, and like there's you go through a great deal of like physical trauma as well. So it's all around, very painful. And the fact that she maintained her strength and faith, um, I think he's finding or learning, like, and putting his own thoughts, and you could call it selfishness or arrogance, aside, and kind of recognizing why, and starting to sort of accept that, and to some extent believe in some sense. um but and then another reference here to, hold on a sec, where are we at here? Another reference to the rivers overrun, back to like, what we mentioned, the first verse, um with the great tribulation, and Daniel, I forget what it was, but that's, I think, a reference to that. Without you to guide them all to Zion, right? So we're Zion, obviously, the it's a in this case, I think we're referring to the specific hill in Israel. I've been there, by the way. I have seen it in person. Um, high is the way, but all lies on the ground. You were the light that we read about. Yeah, and then the 10,000 days is the fire long enough. So I think that's in relation to fire being a direct relation to, it's long enough. It's okay. You're going home. The pain is over, sort of thing, right? Anyways, you could also interpret that. I mean, when we're talking about heaven, in the consideration of heaven and hell, fire is obviously. I don't think that we're going. I don't think that's what that refers to. I think it's more so related to the pain that she was going through, um, with with her disability. But anyway, sorry, we'll keep it going here. So I'm pausing a lot more than last time, but this is, I like to. There's more words to this one, and I like to speak on them as it's in my head. So, anyways. It's so interesting that it's referred to as the pillar here. I think in the last the first song I did, I said it. I think I actually used the word pillar when I referenced it. Sounds like she was, a pillar of faith, or something. Something, I'm paraphrasing, but I believe I did use that word, and I obviously we refer to the Father, the Son. We're talking the doctrine of the Trinity of Christianity with the, but tell them their pillar of faith has ascended, and you're the only one who can hold your head up high, shaking your fists at the gates, saying, "I've come home now." So he's, again, just a testament to the, where he kind of holds her at, and just saying that he firmly believes, out of his knowledge, that to him, she's the only one that is deserving of, to this demand when she gets to heaven, which is beautiful. Sorry, we lost my way here. Sorry, let's go. Shout out to the bass on this song, by the way. I mean, all the music's good, but it's very pronounced, and it's when you have this heavy meaning, you know, like I think we don't really just with stuff that with lyrics like this that are very in depth. You get focused on that, and I kind of start ignoring, like, well, not ignoring, but just like not paying attention to the, you know, the instrumental and whatnot. But it's very spiritual. It's like a journey. The last one to this one, it's very interesting. Um, and again, I haven't heard a ton of Tool. Most recently, like I like the the journey, elongated intros and outros, and the meaning in songs. Like when I first heard, and this band came way later. I get it. When I first heard Sleep Token, it was similar in my head. It was like, this is like, the music is, it's so different, in the best way possible. It's like a journey, you know, and it's not your traditional song structure. It's not your traditional song length. It's poetry and music. It's amazing. You wonder if the bass drum on this, this heavy doot 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 doot, is her literally like the symbolic of just banging on the gates, you know, like a knock at the door, like we just referenced, demanding my wings, right? Real quick here. You are the light in the way, they will only read about. It's symbolic of how Jesus would refer to himself. What was it? John John something. John, I forget. Um Set as I am in my ways and my arrogance, burden of proof tossed up upon the believers. You are my witness, my eyes, my evidence. Judith Marie unconditional one. I think this is just in reference to like he's talking about himself. Said as I am in my ways, my arrogance. It's just his path led him to something of a non-believer. It seems. Um, and he's just saying that he literally says, "You're my witness, my eyes, my evidence, unconditional one," and that's a mother is your unconditional love. That's how mothers are described, right? Um, but I think that his sort of disbelief or just lack of faith via what by way of whatever he's kind of gone through and um is greatly tested just based upon her strength and her devotion during what would otherwise be to him like to anybody really like just the worst to 20, 26, 27 years um just not able to do anything that you really want but still maintaining a faith. I mean, most people would give up on faith if something like that happens to them. It's like, you know what, I don't think God was here during this portion of my life, which is I don't know, could be roughly a third of your life, a quarter of your life, something like that. Maybe not a quarter, maybe maybe closer to a third or um but so it's almost like his recognition of the devotion that she had to that, and it being very impactful on his otherwise doubt. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And then the storm is over and the that's kind of touching right there. And then the birds are chirping. Um you can't help but think about your own mother. My mom's not uh, a faith driven person, super really. I mean, she here and there is nothing like what it sounds like Judith Marie was. Um, we got the whole name in this one. Um, Okay. Daylight dims, leaving cold fluorescence. Which fluorescent light. First of all, I think that's a callback to the first song. I think we had the same reference to cold fluorescence. I think at the beginning of the song, whereas it's in the end of the song, so it kind of comes full circle. And I think that's referring to like hospital lights. Fluorescent lights. Difficult to see you in this light. Like it's hard for me to accept this. And also the daylight dims, not just the light in you, it's almost like the sun is setting on this saga. It could be it's probably mostly kind of figuratively in this sense, but it could be literally it's going to be darkness from here out. um but also when you're in a hospital, you can't really see the sun a whole lot. So please forgive this bold suggestion. um that's like that almost rhymes with the what do you say in the first one? The selfish question. It could be another kind of callback to that. Should you see your maker's face tonight? look him in the eye, look him in the eye, tell him. And another callback to the first song. I've never lived a lie, never took a life, but surely saved one, which was directly out of a verse, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think I am, because I did this song last night, in the first version of this. Hallelujah, it's time for you to bring me home. And then the birds are chirping. Um, the birds chirping, it's it's a sign of peace, a sign of mourning, like the morning. It's a sign of it's it's a happy signal at the end of what otherwise is a very kind of sad and touching song. Um, so it's almost like it almost kind of it's almost like a signal indicator for acceptance on his part. Um, that like that. I mean, not to be cliche, but that she's in a better place, and it sounds like he's already come to terms with uh the struggle and the acceptance thereof. And he's kind of it sounds like he's kind of enthused that she's gonna, he's just basically trying to, it's a direct ode to his mom, and it's almost like a little bit of encouragement, like, demand those wings, you will pound at those gates, because you, unlike anybody else, anybody I know, deserve them. um it's another way of saying you are quite literally the best person I know. um which I can absolutely align with that. I got I got the same mom. She just doesn't go to church. Uh, yeah, that's an emotional little saga there. You get a little dusty. Um, anyways, I'm gonna cut it there. We're already at 30 minutes on this video. Sorry about that. See, I knew I was better off splitting these up, just looking at the length of them, and I knew she wasn't gonna send me something that wasn't, somewhat depth of meaning. Um, but go support Tool, please. Go like, go subscribe. Fantastic. And yeah, it wasn't at all what I would expected. Um, I but I missed the boat on Tool. I didn't really listen to Tool when, back when, like, I mean, I think I remember back in school, like, you'd see patches on backpacks and stuff. So it's, they've been around forever. Um, I was just, I grew up on more so, punk music and like old school hip hop. I didn't really get into anything in the harder rock or even metal range, um no, the more I open my ears and I listen to a lot of stuff, it's the music's awesome in that way. It's just it's deep, it's meaningful, it's life, it's poetry in song form, in better than just having a conversation listening to a song, right? Anyways, um, like if I did my entire reaction with a guitar while playing drums, but I said the same things, it'd be a lot more entertaining. If I did it with like a harmonica in my mouth, it'd be a lot more entertaining, right? So I'm just saying, it's it adds an element, right, to emotions, and obviously I'm making jokes about it, um, but this story is nothing to joke about. What a strong woman. And I don't know when she passed. I'm assuming this has been around a while. Let's see, May 2nd, 2006. Okay. Uh, yeah. So that's 20 years ago. So she's obviously um passed prior. You gotta have time to write a song, cope with things, mourn. Um, But anyways, yeah, go support Tool. Go support Rosalie Elliot. Please go like, go subscribe. And yeah, definitely want to show love to the artist though, and the creator that sent this to me. If you have time after that, love to have you here as well. If you could smash that like, make sure you're subscribed. If you want me to check out anything else by Tool, drop it down below in the comments. I do read all my comments, and I promise you I will on this video. Or better yet, if you want me to check out something quickly, jump over to Patreon. It's a free platform. It's really easy to use. Literally on the front page there's a running list of requests. It's just you just have to be a Patreon member. You don't even have to subscribe to me, and you could just post whatever you want there. The quickest way would be there's skip the line options. You just shoot me a DM. We'll just handle it. But Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day, your week, your month, your year, your life, your afterlife. We'll talk to you.